highly awaited BBI report will be released to the public by being handed over to the President and Raila Odinga on Tuesday, the 26th of November, 2019. Two quick observations. One, why did the BBI team find it necessary to come to us on a Friday to tell us that the report will be released on a Tuesday? Why didn't they just release the report, as is normally the case? Did they know something we don't know? Were they fearing something was going to happen over the weekend? Or maybe was it because the president was visiting Western Kenya? We don't know. The second thing, the BBI report will be released on Tuesday. If this report was submitted to the public for a vote on Wednesday, the 20th of November, 2019, it would flop. It would fail miserably, and the loss would be by huge margin. That is the situation on the ground, as young people say. It has nothing to do with whether BBI is good or not, because even as the president tells us, why are you criticizing that which you don't know? But others are equally asking, why are you supporting that which you equally don't know? But if it was subjected to a vote, it will fail. The reason being, BBI is currently as unpopular on the ground as Punguza Mizigo was popular on the ground. Punguza Mizigo was popular without necessarily being a good thing. In fact, if you asked me, there were so many flaws in the Punguza Mizigo bill, yet it was that popular. We don't know what's contained in the BBI, but on the ground it seems it's not being well received. That means that those fronting the BBI must start by knowing that they have a serious task ahead of them. But will that situation obtain forever until the vote, if a referendum is called? I very much doubt so. That things will change. Why will things change? First, between Tuesday and the time a referendum vote is taken, a lot will have happened. That the people in the BBI team will most likely have sold the BBI reports. The substance of the report will have become clearer to the public. They will have explained things which today may not be clear to the public. And if those things are good, if the substance of the report is good, it is well explained to the public, then you are likely to experience changes. Secondly, the BBI report could go through in a referendum, because between Tuesday, the 19th of November, and the time the vote is taken, somewhere mid next year, state's power, state muscle will have been brought to bear on that, and that will push it toward acceptability. But let's look at the nitty-gritties. Let's look at how a vote would look like mid next year when it is taken. Will the BBI team win or will it lose? First, beginning from Tuesday, things becomes much, much more difficult for William Samoei Ruto than ever before, because this is being presented as a government project. Then how does the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya come out openly to oppose that which is being presented as a government project? Remember, the BBI team was gazetted. The BBI team has used public funds. The BBI report is being handed over to the president in his official capacity. And therefore, this initiative is a government initiative. How will the DP oppose a government initiative if he's part of that government? And he's not coming out openly to support those who oppose. If it gets to a referendum, he's not openly being on the no side. Will mean the no side will be slowed down. in the absence of the DP's direct support. Now let's go region by region. Because one of the reasons why the BBI report may finally succeed is that the politics will begin to go tribal or regional or community, if we want to be euphemistic. Now, when you go region by region, you get Ruto getting a bulk of the votes in Rift Valley. That leaves you 7 provinces. You come to Coast, and since only Aisha Juma seems to be the one supporting BBI now, with people like Muvuria, Governor Muvuria, who have hitherto supported William Ruto, appearing to develop cold feet, leaving Amason Kingi, Mishimboko, and the 001 Sultan reigning supreme, you have Coast going the BBI way. Let's move to Eastern. Eastern may be a little tricky, but the Ukambani part of it, which is Eastern, is all locked for BBI. Kivuda Kibwana, Charity Ngilu, Alfred Mutua, Mudhama, and the king of Ukambani himself, Kalonzo, are all locked in BBI. So that leaves you Upper Eastern, which will be taken together with the Mount Kenya region, where we now land. As things stand now, Mount Kenya is over 80% anti-BBI pro-William Samoei Ruto. Will that situation obtain until the vote? That is subject to debate. But my quick guess is that with the tribal politics coming into play as we move towards the vote, Uhuru may get a chunk of his people's votes. Because it will become clearer, I could be wrong, as it becomes increasingly clear that the Mount Kenya people will have a stake in government in 2022 and thereafter, mainly through the BBI initiative. As it becomes clear that people like Anne Waiguru, people like other senior politicians will be in this government, and that almost, even ultimately, that Uhuru himself may be a prime minister or something big in this government. As that becomes clearer, the Mount Kenya vote will begin to shift slowly. And the friction of the electioneering itself during the referendum, a slip of the tongue, the kind of mistake, for example, that Kalonzo Musyoka made at the Uhuru Park, just when NASA almost had it all locked. There's something he said, I can't quite remember. The heat of the moment during the referendum will give people in the Mount Kenya region, the brigade that is fighting for Uhuru's side, it will give them something to say. Namisemo itaanza kuingia. They are doing this to us. They are doing this to our man. So I can also see Central, which of course now is pro-Ruto, beginning to shift. Let's now come to Nairobi. Nairobi has always been 50-50 in favor of Raila and Uhuru. I don't see much happening. And therefore Nairobi will majorly be 50% BBI, and the other 50% will be 60 or so percent in favor of BBI. And therefore we are saying in the majority, Nairobi is seeming to look like it is BBI. Eastern is more, Northeastern province is now mainly Ruto. It could remain Ruto, most likely to remain Ruto. And that, I think, dear Kenyans, takes us to Western Kenya. As it were today, Western Kenya or Western province is not quite, you are not quite sure. But I see a situation in which all the big leaders in Western province will be for the BBI. The brigade being led by Francis Atwoli, Wycliffe Oparanya, Moses Masika Wetangula, Generalis Sospita Ojamong, and all the other heavyweights, including the young Turks, Senator Malala and Senator Khanili, will seem to isolate Khalwale, who might need more missiles than stones. Mudavadi is not quite clear where he stands. But the moment he begins to see that there's an onslaught in Western province, that all the big people, the team headed by Atoli, seems to be fighting the BBI war, I can see Mudavadi smelling something and seeing the sense in joining the BBI team. He's most unlikely to be with the no. And he would not stand long in the middle. And therefore, if Mudavadi then joins the Francis Atoli, Oparanya, and the rest of these people, then you can see Western Province is locked for BBI. And of course, did we say something about Nyanza? Certainly no. Therefore, the situation that is emerging, that from a strongly anti-BBI country, the BBI team, the handshake team will have their way when the referendum is taken, if it is taken, mid-next year. That then brings me finally to what I have to say. To the men who lead this country, to the men in whose hands the future of our children hands. In October, November 2017, I urged Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta to know that the future of this country was in their hands. And if the country was going to burn the way it seemed set to, then history will judge them most unfairly. Today, this cold morning, I'm urging the three men in whose future, in whose hands the future of our children squarely lies, to think about tomorrow and prosperity, to think about their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Because when you vanquish William Samoei Ruto during the referendum, you'll get into some small problem. This country could get into some small problem. And I'm urging these three leaders, William Samoei Ruto, Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, to find a way of working together, to find it in their hearts, space for each other. This country needs the three gentlemen, Raila, Ruto, and President Uhuru Kenyatta, to sit and work together so that even if we are suspending democracy briefly, we are doing so in the interest of this country, because that is the only way to avoid friction in 2022. Other people could have their own thoughts. I could be wrong. How I wish I'm wrong. Because if I'm right, then the only way to forestall problems in this country, from the BBI to the election of 2022, is for Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and William Samoei Ruto to sit together. And the challenge, finally, is to William Samoei Ruto to understand that country is bigger than self. But the bigger challenge is to Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. They are the bigger brother in this game. And it's for the bigger brother to seek out the younger brother, find a way of talking to William Samoei Ruto so that we are one country, one people, and this is more necessary today than ever before in the history of our nation.